Hi, welcome back to this week's Personal Selling Weekly. And today we will bring up a topic I really hate. And it's a very common topic when it comes to people wanting to improve their sales skills. Again and again, when we are being invited to go in and help organizations improve their sales force, they almost always ask us if we can help them become better at handling objections. And of course we can, but I don't think you really want. And in this week, Personal Selling, we will share with you why training people in handling objections is not only unproductive, but can maybe be even harmful for your business long term. Because basically, you could say that if you teach people to handle objections, they will be good at handling objections. And again, let's say that they could be really, really good. And no matter what objections customers could throw at you, now you could handle it. How do you honestly believe that the customer will feel after a meeting where they have been handled? Not that great, to be honest. So I think, again, you want to remind yourself that every time you meet a customer, you want them to feel great about having met with you. And you don't do that by fighting with them. So instead of setting your salespeople up to handle objections, in this video today, we will share with you how you can much more set it up so that you prevent objections all along, so that you don't have to handle them. And I think there's a proven way that you can secure that for you and your sales team. So if you want to have some inspiration of not to handle objections, but how to actually prevent them, I think this is the right episode for you. Okay. So if it's so easy to prevent, how come that we are getting objections again and again? And in my experience, it's simply because you're not running the most optimal process with the customers. I think to get an objection, you have to present something the customer don't like or don't want. And then maybe you should ask yourself, how did you end up in this place to begin with? I have this policy that you should never tell the customer anything before you know what they would like to hear. So I think the main idea you need to take from this week is that before you present anything, you need to understand what the customer want and what they need so that you can focus on that. How come that most salespeople end up sharing information before they know what the customer actually wants to hear? I think it's because customers have a lot of bad habits and salespeople have a lot of bad habits. A lot of customers have been trained to think, when I see a salesperson, they are here because they want to present. So very often customers have a clear expectation. When you show up, they want you to actually present what you can do for them. And then they sit back and enjoy the sing and dance, as we call it. So again, if you don't want to end up in this trap, you need to know how to pre-frame the meeting in a way which allow you to ask the customer what they want and why they want that, so that you can wait in presenting your offer before you know what aspect or which element of your solution is actually relevant for the customer. And again, this is a simple idea, but it's not that easy because we are fighting years and years and years of embedded behavior on both sides. So I think the first thing you need to do is to understand that it's actually possible to run sales meetings in a slightly different way. So instead of focusing on going in and presenting ideas and product and solutions, first and foremost, you need to show up being curious about the customer. And therefore, you need to understand how to set a clear frame for the meeting in a way which allow the customer to willingly share what they want. And you could do it to the extent, or maybe you could do it in this way, say, wow, thank you for allowing me to meet with you here today. And I understand we have approximately 1 hour to basically find out where and how we can help you take your business to the next level. And again, in 1 hour, we cannot cover all aspects of what our solution can do for you. So I want to be as effective as possible, really focusing our time on where I can bring the most value to you and your organization. So would it be okay if I ask you a few questions before we dive into the product and the solution? And I would guarantee that 9 out of 10 customers say, yes, of course. So what do you need to know? And this is where you can bring in some of these powerful questions from the satisfaction selling method, which is really about asking the customer, wow, what is it in your present solution that's already working well for you? What would you like to achieve within the next few years so that you get the customer's dream? And then you can ask, wow, how would you like to get there? Again, allowing you to understand what the customer would like to see from a vendor, helping them get into their dream. And when you have that information, now you understand how to position your product, your ideas, your solution, so it actually fits what the customer want and how they want it. And when you do that, why should the customer have objections? That just doesn't make sense. So the whole idea here is that the better you can understand what the customer want and how they want it, the easier it will be for you to present your ideas so it actually fits what they want the way they want it. And then you don't have to fight the customer. Now you're much more, from the customer's perspective, helping them getting what they want. And when you master this, there's one thing you don't need to master, and that's knowing how to handle objections. So I think besides this being a more smooth and intelligent way of running your meetings, it's also the recipe for a better life for you and for your customers. Because if you don't have to fight your customers, you can start to enjoy working together with your customers, co-creating solutions and values. And that's why we don't want to teach you to become good at something that just lead you down the wrong path. We are much more want to teach you how you can actually start to behave more intelligently when you interact with your customers. And that's why we say, don't handle objections. Do something more intelligent with your life and your time. And we hope this episode today have at least inspired you to look for a different way of going about working with your customers.